This is Caitlin Lee's PowerPoint on the Space Shuttle program for online U.S. history. So let's start in the beginning. What was the Space Shuttle program? The Space Shuttle program began with its first launch on April 12, 1981 and ended about 30 years later with the last landing on July 21, 2011. The program consisted of 5 NASA space shuttles including Columbia, Challenger, Discovery, Atlantic, and Endeavour, which flew a total of 135 missions and carried over 350 people into space. The Space Shuttle program traveled a total of more than 500 million miles, which is more than the distance needed to reach Jupiter from Earth. This new spacecraft was half rocket, half plane, and was the first reusable spacecraft. It was designed to take off like a rocket and to return to Earth by landing like a giant glider. How has the Space Shuttle program changed us? How? Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good. The mission of the program was to make the first reusable spacecraft that would eventually be used to extend human achievements and to enlarge our knowledge of the great unknown. For example, during the missions, satellites were repaired and the creation of the International Space Station, the largest structure in space used for astronomical and geology and environmental research. Another great feat possible through the Space Shuttle program was the creation of the Hubble Space Telescope. With it, we have been able to exponentially grow our knowledge of cosmos and have been able to receive photographs that increase our understanding of the universe. Because astronauts lose bone strength and have other health problems due to their job, there have been numerous experiments trying to correct the problem, which is very useful for us today. In addition to improvements in humans, space exploration has improved the way we look at our world because the special radar instruments installed in satellites released in the Space Shuttle museums map most of the world, including previously inaccessible areas such as jungles and mountains, with the most precise topographical measurements ever. This has benefited our military planning and aviation. Another great advancement derived from the Space Shuttle program are bioreactors. Usually used for cell and tissue growth in space for experiments, scientists have also found that it has the ability to grow blood and human tissue. Adding on, Dr. Michael DeBakey, a heart surgeon, created an artificial heart pump that was based on fluid flow through the Space Shuttle main engines, the most complicated engines ever built. Imagine how many lives this can be saved with this new technology. While there are many benefits to the Space Shuttle program, it was also extremely costly. It was found that the total spent in the 30 years of missions was about $113.7 billion, and this is the cost without adjustment for inflation. Now moving on to the ugly. So we're going to talk about the Challenger catastrophe. So on the morning of January 28, 1986, off of Cape Canaveral, Florida, just a few degrees from freezing, tragedy struck and an explosion and immediately the Space Shuttle Challenger had exploded seconds after liftoff, killing its 7-person crew. Well, that morning of the catastrophe, the 2 double O-rings had failed due to the cold temperatures, creating a flame that ignited a tank of fuel, blowing up the entire shuttle from nose to tail. In the viewing area, relatives and friends of crew members, as well as other spectators, including school children, could only watch spellbound as the hideous white cloud grew in the otherwise white sky. This accident was known as the most horrible catastrophe that was known in the 25 years of manned spaceflight, and was the first time astronauts were killed in a mission. Furthermore, we're going to talk about the Columbia calamity. In February 2003, another disaster struck again, this time on the Space Shuttle Columbia, the first vehicle of the Space Shuttle program. Just 16 minutes before the landing of the shuttle in Texas, it disintegrated again, killing all its 7 crew members. But this time, it was a piece of foam that decided their fate. This piece of foam that fell from the shuttle's external tank fatally tore the wing of the spacecraft. In actuality, the problems with the parts of the shuttle were known ahead of time, yet the advisors allowed the missions to go on with the faulty parts. So why is this important? Well, according to Neil Lane, a Rice University physicist and the former head of the National Science Foundation and President Bill Clinton's science advisor, people usually overlook the increased understanding in human biology that the shuttle and station have provided. We've learned some things about the human body that we had no other way to learn except to operate, for some extended period of time, in space. So just like how Neil Lane says that the shuttle program has helped with human biology, it has also helped with the new technology, and we've been using it since. So thank you for watching, and this is my Works Cited.